Hey there, fellow literature explorers. Today, we turn our gaze toward The Expendables 3, 2014, a film that on the surface might seem like just another explosive action flick, packed with muscle and mayhem. But as always, what draws me, and hopefully you, into this cinematic experience is its invitation to look beyond the barrage of gunfire and stunt work, to peel back layers of meaning, symbolism, and the complex interplay of character dynamics that reveal so much about our culture, our heroes, and ourselves. This isn't a simple review, but rather a deep, intellectual, and theoretical analysis aimed at those who appreciate film as a rich text, a narrative to be unpacked with curiosity and thoughtfulness. You see, this movie, while brash and loud, taps into themes and ideas that resonate far beyond the high-octane explosions. For me, it's a fascinating meditation on aging, legacy, loyalty, and the shifting landscape of power, a reflection not only of the characters on screen, but of broader societal changes we witness around us. It's a story about what it means to be indispensable in a world that's always hungry for the new and the next, about reconciling past glory with present challenges, and the painful, sometimes awkward dance of mentoring and succession. I remember the first time I saw it, I was struck not just by the spectacle, which is undeniably impressive, but by the tension between generations. There's a palpable sense of an old guard grappling with relevance, and a younger, faster set pushing forward, eager to prove themselves. That tension sparked reflections on my own experiences, watching mentors pass the torch, and the bittersweet realization that every era has its heroes who must evolve or fade. That feeling, the clash of nostalgia and progress, of respect and rivalry, lived vividly in this film's pulse. Let's set the stage with a brief overview. This installment brings together a star-studded cast, a veritable who's who of action legends, with Sylvester Stallone at the helm. The narrative revolves around the seasoned team confronting new threats while facing internal upheaval, the arrival of a ruthless antagonist, the introduction of a younger, more modern squad, and the inevitable reckoning with their own limitations and mortality. It's a film that juxtaposes explosive set pieces with moments of reflection, camaraderie, and even vulnerability, painting a picture of heroes who are more than just their muscles and firepower. The plot kicks off with the Expendables, a tight-knit group of mercenaries, taking on a mission that spirals into a larger conflict when a former ally turned enemy threatens global stability. As the story unfolds, we witness the team recruit fresh blood, younger fighters with a very different approach to warfare and heroism, sparking tension and soul-searching. This setup creates fertile ground for exploring themes of mentorship, rivalry, and the evolving nature of what it means to be a warrior in an age that increasingly favors technology and speed over brute strength and experience. Key elements that ripple through the narrative include the clash of generations, the notion of legacy, and the ever-present specter of mortality. These themes find expression not only in dialogue and character arcs, but also in the film's stylistic choices, the gritty textures, the interplay of practical effects and CGI, and the carefully choreographed action that feels both nostalgic and fresh. Major twists revolve around shifting alliances and the unveiling of hidden motivations, which serve to complicate the straightforward, good guys versus bad guys formula and inject moral ambiguity into a genre often criticized for simplicity. Throughout this exploration, we'll consider how the film's mise-en-scene and editing work to juxtapose raw physicality with moments of emotional intimacy, how the director's auteur signature reveals itself in the pacing and visual storytelling, and how the intertextual layers, references to classic action tropes and cinematic history, invite us to engage not just with the narrative, but with the genre's evolution itself. Together, we'll unpack the subtle ways this movie reflects our cultural moment, challenging us to reconsider what heroism looks like when the world is changing faster than we can keep up. So get comfortable, sharpen your critical lens, and let's dive deep into the world of this explosive yet thoughtful saga, unpacking the textures beneath the surface and appreciating the complexities that make it a fascinating subject for any serious cinephile or literature enthusiast. The story begins with the Expendables team reassembling once again, older, battle-hardened, but still bound by an unbreakable code of loyalty and brotherhood. They're no strangers to danger, but this time, the stakes feel even more personal and complicated. Their leader, Barney Ross, carries the weight of past missions, the scars of losses, and the quiet doubts that come with age. It's a world where experience counts, but the relentless march of time challenges even the fiercest warriors. Right from the start, we see the team plunged into a high-stakes mission, a simple arms retrieval operation that quickly spirals into a deadly game of cat and mouse. Their target is a brutal arms dealer, Conrad Stonebanks, a man once co-founder of the Expendables himself, now turned merciless enemy with a vendetta that cuts deep. Stonebanks embodies the film's dark mirror to Barney, a reflection of what might have been had choices gone differently. His return is not just a threat to global security, but a personal reckoning for the team, especially Barney, who must confront ghosts from his past. As the mission escalates, the Expendables find themselves outgunned and outmatched. Stonebanks' tactics are ruthless and modern, employing high-tech weapons and mercenaries trained in new warfare methods. This contrast highlights a core tension. The old guard relying on grit, muscle, and tried-and-true tactics, versus a younger, tech-savvy generation reshaping combat. It's a theme threaded through the action sequences and character interactions, illustrating the clash not only on the battlefield, but within the very identity of the team. In response to this evolving threat, Barney makes a controversial decision to recruit new blood. This decision is met with skepticism and resistance from the veterans, who question the loyalty, experience, and grit of these younger fighters. Yet it's a pragmatic choice, one born of necessity and a recognition that survival depends on adaptation. The newcomers bring fresh energy, skills, and perspectives, but also stir up friction and rivalry, testing the bonds that once seemed unbreakable. Among the recruits, key figures emerge who challenge and complement the established team. These characters are more than mere replacements. They represent shifting values and tactics. Their presence introduces fresh dynamics, both camaraderie and competition, that explore themes of mentorship, trust, and generational change. The veterans wrestle not only with external enemies, but with internal doubts about relevance, legacy, and identity. Meanwhile, the film unfolds in a series of escalating missions and encounters, taking the team across diverse and exotic locations, from sun-drenched Mediterranean ports to shadowy urban warrens. Each setting serves as a stage for a mix of explosive action, strategic maneuvers, and character-driven moments. These sequences are meticulously choreographed, blending practical effects and digital enhancements to create visceral, immersive experiences. One standout sequence involves a tense infiltration mission where stealth and precision are paramount, contrasting sharply with the film's more bombastic firefights. This shift in tone underscores the evolving nature of the conflict and the team's need to evolve tactically. The scene also provides a crucible for character development, revealing vulnerabilities, strengths, and fractures within the group. Throughout this first act, the narrative intersperses flashbacks and dialogues that deepen our understanding of the characters, histories, and motivations. Barney's reflections on the team's founding and past sacrifices add emotional weight, painting the Expendables not as mere mercenaries, but as brothers bound by shared purpose and pain. These moments invite viewers to engage emotionally, grounding the high-octane plot in human stakes. The antagonist's backstory gradually unfolds, revealing his motivations rooted in betrayal and a thirst for revenge. His ruthless ambition is matched by strategic cunning, making him a formidable foil to Barney. Their history adds layers of complexity, turning the conflict into a personal vendetta that elevates the stakes beyond the typical good versus evil framework. Amid the escalating tension, the film doesn't shy away from humor and camaraderie. The banter between characters, moments of levity amidst chaos, and subtle acknowledgments of their own aging bodies bring a refreshing humanity to the narrative. These interactions not only provide relief but reinforce themes of loyalty, resilience, and the enduring bonds forged through hardship. The first half builds steadily toward a dramatic midpoint that redefines the mission and the team's trajectory. A betrayal within their ranks or a devastating setback challenges their cohesion and forces Barney to confront difficult choices about trust, leadership, and sacrifice. This turning point is not only a catalyst for action but a thematic crucible, testing the characters' commitments and values. Throughout, the film balances spectacle with substance. Explosions and fight scenes are thrilling, yes, but they also serve as expressions of underlying tensions between old and new, tradition and innovation, survival and obsolescence. The narrative's rhythm pulses between adrenaline and introspection, allowing viewers moments to absorb and reflect amid the chaos. As the first half closes, the Expendables stand at a crossroads, richer in experience but shaken by losses, strengthened by new alliances but wary of internal fissures. The mission is far from over, and the challenges ahead promise to test the limits of their courage, ingenuity, and loyalty. This section sets the stage for a gripping continuation, one where personal and global stakes collide in a crescendo of action and emotion. In essence, the early journey is a compelling blend of old-school grit and modern complexity, packed with characters who are as human in their flaws as they are heroic in their deeds. It's a narrative that resonates beyond the genre's typical boundaries, inviting us to ponder what it truly means to be expendable or indispensable in a world that never stops changing. The tension that has been simmering since the early scenes suddenly bursts into a roaring crescendo as the story plunges deeper into conflict, both external and internal. The Expendables, pushed to the brink by an enemy who knows their every move, are forced to confront not only a merciless foe, but the fractures within their own ranks. As the stakes escalate, alliances shift, secrets unravel, and the true cost of loyalty and survival becomes brutally clear. The turning point comes when the team suffers a devastating ambush orchestrated by their adversary, Conrad Stonebanks. This attack is not merely a physical assault, but a psychological blow, designed to fracture trust and sow doubt. Key members are captured or severely wounded, and the survivors must navigate the heavy weight of loss while regrouping to mount a counterattack. The film uses this sequence to peel back layers of its characters, revealing vulnerabilities beneath their hardened exteriors. Barney, the unshakable leader, shows cracks in his armor, moments of self-doubt, grief, and guilt that humanize him and heighten the emotional stakes. As the team regroups, the dynamic between the veterans and the younger recruits grows more complex. Initial skepticism toward the newcomers transforms into grudging respect as their skills and determination become undeniable. Yet generational divides still spark friction, reflecting broader themes of mentorship, change, and the challenge of passing the torch. These tensions play out not only in dialogue, but through action scenes choreographed to emphasize differing combat styles, raw strength and experience meeting agility and innovation. One of the younger recruits, a prodigious fighter with a mysterious past, becomes central to the unfolding narrative. His personal journey intersects with the main mission, adding layers of intrigue and emotional resonance. His presence challenges Barney's assumptions about leadership and legacy, forcing the old guard to confront uncomfortable truths about their own mortality and relevance. Their evolving relationship forms a poignant throughline, illustrating the complexities of mentorship and the painful necessity of change. Meanwhile, the antagonist's motivations and backstory come into sharper focus. Conrad Stonebanks is revealed not simply as a ruthless arms dealer, but as a man driven by betrayal and vengeance. His history with Barney adds tragic depth to their conflict, former comrades turned mortal enemies, bound by a shared past that haunts their present. This revelation reframes the narrative, shifting it from a straightforward battle of good versus evil to a tangled web of personal grudges, broken trust, and the high cost of past choices. As the narrative hurtles toward its climax, the Expendables devise a daring plan to infiltrate Stonebanks' heavily fortified compound. This sequence is a showcase of the team's combined strengths, the veterans' experience and strategic savvy complementing the younger fighters' agility and technical prowess. The infiltration scenes are tense and meticulously crafted, balancing stealth with explosive action, and underscoring the film's theme of unity amid diversity. Inside the enemy stronghold, the team faces a gauntlet of challenges that test their resolve, ingenuity, and loyalty. The close-quarters combat scenes are choreographed to highlight each character's unique skills and growth, weaving personal arcs into the broader narrative of survival and redemption. Interspersed with these battles are moments of intimate confrontation between Barney and Stonebanks, between teammates grappling with betrayal, and within the younger recruit as he confronts his own demons. The film's major twists unfold here, revelations about who can be trusted, unexpected betrayals, and a dramatic showdown that brings long-simmering tensions to a head. The final confrontation between Barney and Stonebanks is charged not only with physical intensity, but with emotional gravity. Two men who represent different paths and choices, locked in a battle that is as much about identity and redemption as it is about power. The resolution does not come easily. The team suffers losses that underscore the brutal cost of their mission, but also achieves victories that affirm their resilience and camaraderie. The film embraces a bittersweet tone, acknowledging that survival and victory often come with sacrifice. The closing scenes offer a moment of quiet reflection amid the aftermath, where the characters, battered but unbroken, contemplate the meaning of their journey, the legacy they leave, and the uncertain road ahead. Throughout the second half, the film's pacing intensifies, weaving together high-stakes action with moments of introspection and character development. The editing balances rapid cuts in battle scenes with lingering shots that capture emotional beats, allowing viewers to breathe and engage with the narrative on multiple levels. The cinematography shifts fluidly from sprawling vistas of destruction to intimate close-ups that reveal the human cost beneath the spectacle. Sound design and score underscore these shifts in tone. Explosions and gunfire erupt with visceral impact, while the music swells to emphasize moments of triumph, loss, and hope. The juxtaposition of cacophony and silence enhances the emotional resonance, drawing viewers into the visceral experience of the characters. Ultimately, the film closes on a note of cautious optimism. The Expendables, though battered and changed, stand united, an emblem of enduring brotherhood and the evolving nature of heroism. The final images linger on the interplay between the old and the new, suggesting that while eras pass and challenges shift, the spirit of courage, loyalty, and sacrifice remains eternal. In this richly layered conclusion, the story transcends its genre trappings, inviting reflection on what it means to face change, to confront mortality, and to find purpose amid chaos. It's a testament to the power of storytelling to blend adrenaline with empathy, spectacle with substance, and entertainment with profound human truths. At the very core of this high-octane tale lies a constellation of characters, each crafted with a rugged depth that transcends mere archetype. These are not simply figures of brawn and bravado. They are embodiments of loyalty, conflict, and the relentless passage of time, a mosaic of personalities shaped by years of warfare, camaraderie, and the heavy weight of survival. To truly understand the film's narrative power, one must dive into the complex web of motivations, fears, and transformations that define each member of the team. Leading the pack is Barney Ross, the stalwart heart and soul of the Expendables. More than just a mercenary, Barney is a man burdened by the ghosts of his past and the responsibility of leadership. His demeanor, gruff but principled, hides a deep well of vulnerability and unwavering loyalty. Throughout the film, Barney embodies the paradox of strength and fragility. His combat prowess is matched by moments of introspection, where he confronts his own limitations and mortality. His journey is not just about facing external threats, but about grappling with the legacy he will leave behind, a theme that resonates with anyone who has faced the twilight of their own prime. Barney's relationship with his team is multifaceted. He is a mentor, a brother-in-arms, and occasionally, a father figure. His interactions reveal a man who demands excellence yet understands the frailty of those he leads. This dynamic becomes especially poignant when new recruits join the fold, stirring a complex mix of protectiveness, skepticism, and hope. Barney's evolving attitude toward these younger fighters reflects his internal struggle to adapt, to accept that the world is changing and that survival may depend on letting go of old ways. Among the veterans, Lee Christmas stands out as Barney's closest confidant and right hand. Lee's loyalty is fierce and unshakable, yet his character is marked by a rugged humor and an almost reckless bravado that masks deeper scars. His combat style is brutal and direct, a reflection of his straightforward approach to life and war. Lee's moments of levity punctuate the narrative, providing much-needed relief from the film's darker undercurrents, but these lighter moments never detract from the emotional stakes. Instead, they underscore the humanity that persists even in the most violent of lives. The inclusion of the younger generation adds new dimensions to the group dynamic. Characters like John Smiley and Galgo are not just fresh faces, but embodiments of a new era, skilled, resourceful, and unburdened by the same history as their predecessors. Their interactions with the veterans highlight the tensions between experience and innovation, tradition and change. Smiley, for instance, brings youthful energy and modern tactical knowledge, but struggles to earn the trust of his older counterparts. This friction becomes a compelling lens through which the film examines mentorship and legacy, the uneasy passing of the torch in a world that demands constant reinvention. Conrad Stonebanks, the antagonist, is more than a mere villain. He is a tragic mirror, reflecting what the Expendables could become if consumed by bitterness and vengeance. His complex past with Barney imbues their conflict with layers of personal history and ideological opposition. Stonebanks is ruthless, cunning, and unyielding, embodying the darker side of survival, where loyalty is replaced by self-interest and the pursuit of power eclipses all else. His presence forces the protagonists to confront not just an external enemy, but the consequences of choices made and paths forsaken. The relationships within the team, between veterans and recruits, between old friends, and even between adversaries, are suffused with themes of trust, betrayal, and redemption. These bonds lend emotional weight to the narrative's explosive moments, reminding us that behind every fight is a story of human connection and conflict. Moments of camaraderie, shared meals, quiet conversations, and mutual protection serve as counterpoints to the chaos of battle, underscoring the film's meditation on brotherhood and survival. Supporting characters also enrich the narrative tapestry. Figures like Doc and Toll Road provide texture and depth, their own backstories and personalities contributing to the sense of a lived-in world where every member has a role and a past. Their presence reinforces the theme that the Expendables are more than just mercenaries. They are a family forged in fire and forged by choice. Symbolism is embedded in the characters' arcs and designs. The wear and tear on their faces, the scars etched on their bodies, and even the worn edges of their gear speak to battles fought and survived. Their physicality becomes a narrative language, telling stories of resilience, pain, and the cost of a life lived on the edge. This visual storytelling deepens the emotional resonance, making their struggles palpable. In voice and mannerism, the performances bring nuance to characters who could easily be reduced to clichés. The gruff tones, the moments of hesitation, the flashes of humor amid tension, all contribute to a portrayal that feels lived in and authentic. The actors' chemistry, evident in both dialogue and silent exchanges, amplifies the sense of a brotherhood tested by fire but unbroken. Ultimately, the film's characters serve as conduits for exploring broader themes of aging, change, and the search for meaning in a world that values youth and novelty. Their stories invite viewers to reflect on their own experiences of loyalty, legacy, and adaptation. Through their strengths and flaws, victories and losses, they remind us that heroism is not just about physical prowess, but about resilience, connection, and the courage to face the unknown. In sum, the character tapestry is a rich, interwoven narrative of human complexity beneath the veneer of action. These are not just expendable soldiers, they are emblematic figures whose journeys echo universal struggles, making their story compelling, relatable, and deeply human. The making of this film is a saga filled with moments as explosive and unpredictable as the story it tells, a rich tapestry woven from unexpected challenges, creative breakthroughs, and the quirky human moments that bring any large-scale production to life. Beneath the roaring gunfire and breathtaking stunts lies a treasure trove of strange, fascinating, and sometimes downright bizarre tales that illuminate the grit, humor, and serendipity that define the filmmaking process. These behind-the-scenes stories offer a glimpse into the chaotic, often magical world where imagination meets reality, a world where the boundary between the planned and the accidental blurs, producing moments that live on long after the credits roll. One of the earliest curiosities emerged during the casting process. Originally, the filmmakers had envisioned a very different lineup for the new recruits who would join the veteran team. Several actors considered for key roles were dramatically unexpected choices, ranging from up-and-coming stars to established action heroes, some of whom were known more for dramatic roles than explosive blockbusters. The final cast came together through a series of last-minute decisions, influenced as much by scheduling conflicts as by pure creative inspiration. One surprising fact is that a major role was nearly given to a then-unknown stunt performer who had impressed the director with his physicality, but lacked the acting experience typically demanded by such a franchise. This choice, had it been finalized, might have dramatically shifted the film's dynamic, emphasizing raw action over dialogue-driven character moments. Filming locations added another layer of unpredictability. The production spanned multiple countries and continents, each bringing its own unique set of challenges. One memorable anecdote involves a shoot in a remote Mediterranean village that was chosen for its picturesque beauty and strategic narrative importance. The crew arrived to discover that a local festival had unexpectedly shut down the main roads, turning what was supposed to be a straightforward day of filming into an impromptu logistical puzzle. Instead of postponing, the director chose to incorporate the festival's vibrant energy into the scenes, blending real-life festivities with scripted action sequences. This spontaneous integration not only saved time and budget, but also added an authentic, festive texture to the film's atmosphere that viewers might never suspect came from an unplanned disruption. Weather played an equally dramatic role behind the camera. On several occasions, planned outdoor sequences were interrupted by sudden, intense storms, some so severe that they forced the crew to evacuate or reschedule entire days of shooting. Yet, in a testament to the adage that art often springs from adversity, these tempests were sometimes woven into the film's narrative fabric. One iconic night scene, originally intended to be clear and calm, was filmed amid a torrential downpour and dramatic lightning strikes. The director chose to keep the footage, harnessing the storm's raw power to amplify the scene's emotional intensity and symbolic weight. This choice required post-production teams to digitally enhance visibility and safety effects, blending natural chaos with cinematic precision. The stunt department faced extraordinary challenges in executing the film's signature action sequences. Among the strangest stories is the development of a new rigging system designed to simulate the weightlessness and agility of the younger recruits' fighting styles. This technology involved complex harnesses and cables that allowed stunt performers to mimic impossible flips, mid-air pivots, and extended hang times. However, during early tests, a series of mishaps occurred, rigging failures, unexpected swings, and even a minor collision that led to an intense review and redesign of safety protocols. The stunt team's resilience and inventiveness in overcoming these issues contributed to some of the film's most visually stunning moments, where gravity seems to bend to human will. Costume design also carried its share of peculiar tales. The film's wardrobe department experimented with innovative materials intended to balance aesthetics, comfort, and functionality. One particularly unusual anecdote involves the prototype suits created for the new recruits, which incorporated experimental fabrics embedded with tiny cooling elements to help actors endure the sweltering heat on set. While promising in theory, the initial prototypes caused unexpected reactions. Some actors reported mild skin irritations or found the garments too restrictive for their fight choreography. Adjustments and compromises were made, but these early trials highlight the unseen complexities behind what audiences simply perceive as sleek, battle-ready costumes. Interactions among the star-studded cast brought their own colorful stories. Given the ensemble nature of the film, actors often found themselves sharing scenes with colleagues they admired or had long sought to work alongside. One behind-the-scenes favorite recounts an impromptu boxing match between two of the veterans during a break in shooting, a friendly spar that revealed not only their physical prowess but their genuine camaraderie. These moments of levity and connection helped ease the grueling schedule and built the palpable chemistry that translates on screen. The filming schedule itself was a relentless marathon. Crew members often worked long, exhausting days under demanding conditions, yet morale remained high due in large part to a culture of mutual respect and shared purpose. Stories circulate of midnight celebrations after particularly difficult shoots, where cast and crew would unwind with music, food, and storytelling, moments that fostered bonds as strong as those depicted on screen. In post-production, the editing suite became a crucible of creativity and debate. The director and editors sifted through hundreds of hours of footage, balancing pacing, narrative clarity, and emotional rhythm. One fascinating detail is the length of time spent refining a single explosion sequence that opens the film, over 6 months of iterative tweaks to perfect the timing, visual effects, and sound design. This meticulous attention underscores how even the most seemingly straightforward action requires a delicate orchestration of elements to truly resonate. Sound design introduced further layers of innovation and whimsy. The iconic gunfire and explosion sounds were crafted using a combination of real-world recordings and digitally synthesized elements. One unexpected source was the sound of smashing glass bowls mixed with recordings of thunder and mechanical impacts to create the rich auditory texture of combat scenes. The composer, known for blending orchestral grandeur with modern electronic motifs, recorded parts of the score outdoors to capture natural acoustics, infusing the music with organic resonance that complements the film's gritty realism. Marketing and promotional efforts embraced unconventional strategies. Beyond the standard trailers and posters, interactive fan events and virtual reality experiences allowed audiences to step into the boots of the Expendables, training alongside characters in simulated combat scenarios. These immersive campaigns were notable for their innovative use of technology and deep fan engagement, cultivating a vibrant community eager to explore the film's world beyond the theater. Throughout production, the film's team faced unforeseen hurdles, from bureaucratic delays at international locations to sudden shifts in global events that influenced scheduling and distribution plans. Yet these obstacles often became catalysts for creative problem-solving and unexpected narrative adjustments, reinforcing the collaborative nature of filmmaking as a living, evolving art form. Years after its release, the production stories continue to captivate fans and scholars alike. Documentaries and special features explore the blend of technology, artistry, and human endeavor that brought the film to life. Cast and crew reunions celebrate not only the final product but the journey, the challenges overcome, friendships forged, and the shared dream realized. In the end, the strangest facts about this film's making reveal a production as dynamic and unpredictable as the story it tells. They remind us that behind every frame of thrilling action and every line of sharp dialogue lies a world of passion, innovation, humor, and resilience, a testament to the enduring magic that happens when dedicated artists come together to tell a story worth remembering. The film unfolds as a richly textured tapestry of moments that pulse with energy, tension, and thematic depth, inviting viewers not only to witness high-stakes action, but to engage critically with the meanings embedded beneath the surface. Each significant event is a carefully constructed node that reverberates throughout the narrative, shaping character development, thematic exploration, and ultimately the emotional landscape that lingers long after the credits roll. Approaching these events through a critical lens reveals layers of cultural resonance and artistic intention that deepen our appreciation of the film's impact and its place within both genre and society. One of the earliest pivotal moments that demands scrutiny is the team's decision to recruit a new generation of fighters. This narrative juncture is more than a plot device. It crystallizes the film's core interrogation of legacy, relevance, and adaptation. The veterans, embodiments of a bygone era of raw physicality and rugged individualism, face the challenge of integrating newcomers who represent agility, technology, and a different ethos of combat. From a critical perspective, this dynamic mirrors broader societal anxieties about generational change, the tensions between tradition and innovation, experience and novelty. The film thus becomes a site for exploring the negotiation between past achievements and future possibilities, a dialogue that resonates beyond the diegesis. The antagonistic force, Conrad Stonebanks, embodies a critical counterpoint that enriches the narrative's moral complexity. Far from a one-dimensional villain, Stonebanks is a character shaped by history, ideology, and personal betrayal. His methods are ruthless, yet his motivations evoke empathy, positioning him within a moral gray zone that challenges simplistic binaries of good and evil. This portrayal invites viewers to reflect on the cyclical nature of violence and vengeance, and on how personal and ideological conflicts intersect. Critical readings suggest that Stonebanks functions as a mirror to Barney Ross, exposing the potential for heroism to slip into brutality and the dangers inherent in unchecked ambition. Key action sequences serve dual purposes: thrilling spectacle and thematic articulation. For instance, the infiltration of the enemy stronghold is choreographed not only to showcase physical prowess, but to dramatize the themes of unity and diversity within the team. The juxtaposition of combat styles, strategic improvisation, and moments of trust highlight the film's meditation on cooperation amid difference. Critically, these sequences subvert genre expectations by emphasizing relational dynamics over mere individual heroism, aligning with contemporary discourses on teamwork and collective agency. The film's use of setting and mise-en-scene in pivotal scenes deepens thematic resonance. Urban environments are portrayed as spaces of both opportunity and entrapment, reflecting characters' struggles with freedom, constraint, and identity. The stark contrasts between light and shadow within these settings function symbolically, visualizing internal conflicts and ethical ambiguities. Such cinematic techniques invite viewers to decode meaning beyond dialogue, engaging with the film as a visual and symbolic text. Narrative twists, particularly betrayals and revelations, are strategically placed to disrupt viewers' assumptions and heighten dramatic tension. These moments are not mere shock tactics, but serve to complicate character motivations and ethical landscapes. For example, an unexpected defection within the team forces a reevaluation of trust and loyalty, themes central to the film's emotional core. From a critical viewpoint, these plot developments function as commentaries on the precariousness of alliances in a world marked by shifting power dynamics. The climactic confrontation between protagonist and antagonist crystallizes the film's thematic concerns. This battle transcends physical conflict to become a symbolic struggle over values, justice versus vengeance, legacy versus change. The choreography, cinematography, and sound design converge to create an immersive experience that balances adrenaline with reflection. Critically, the scene can be read as an allegory for the tensions inherent in leadership and the burden of choice, resonating with archetypal hero narratives while inflecting them with contemporary complexity. The film's resolution offers a nuanced closure that eschews simplistic happy endings. Survivors are changed, relationships altered, and the future left open to interpretation. This ambiguity invites ongoing engagement and discussion, aligning with modern narrative trends that privilege complexity and realism. From a critical perspective, the ending functions as a meditation on survival, transformation, and the ongoing work of rebuilding in the aftermath of conflict. Emotional resonance throughout the film is amplified by performances that imbue characters with humanity and depth. Moments of vulnerability, grief, doubt, camaraderie are juxtaposed with displays of strength and resilience, creating a textured portrayal of heroism. Critical analysis highlights how this emotional layering challenges traditional genre conventions that often favor invulnerability, reflecting evolving cultural norms around masculinity and emotional expression. Audience reception reflects the film's capacity to engage multiple layers of meaning. While some viewers are drawn to its spectacle and action, others appreciate its thematic depth and character complexity. Critical discourse often centers on how the film negotiates nostalgia for classic action cinema with contemporary sensibilities, creating a hybrid form that appeals across demographics. Its success at the box office and in cultural conversation underscores its resonance as both entertainment and cultural text. In summary, the significant events of the film are intricately woven to serve narrative propulsion, thematic exploration, and emotional engagement. Through a sophisticated interplay of plot, character, and cinematic technique, the film invites viewers to reconsider notions of heroism, loyalty, and change. Its impact and reception testify to the power of genre cinema to both thrill and provoke, reaffirming storytelling as a vital means of cultural reflection and connection. The making of this film unfolds like an epic saga in its own right, one that rivals the high-stakes drama and explosive action portrayed on screen. From the earliest spark of the project's conception to the intricate final touches applied in post-production, the journey of bringing this story to life is a testament to human ingenuity, collaboration, and sometimes sheer stubbornness. The production process is as layered and dynamic as the film itself, shaped by creative visionaries, technical wizards, and a legion of dedicated craftsmen and women whose efforts often go unnoticed by the casual viewer, but whose impact resonates deeply throughout every frame. The genesis of the project began with a clear vision from the director, who sought to honor the spirit of the original while pushing the boundaries of modern action cinema. The challenge was formidable. To recapture the raw energy and camaraderie of the Expendables team while integrating fresh blood and updated tactics that would resonate with contemporary audiences. This balancing act required a deft narrative hand and a production strategy that embraced both tradition and innovation. One of the first major hurdles was assembling the cast, a process marked by both star power and strategic casting decisions. The director and producers were keenly aware that the ensemble's chemistry would be paramount, necessitating not just individual talent, but a collective dynamic that felt authentic and electric. Early rehearsals became a crucible for building this chemistry, with actors participating in both scripted scenes and unscripted workshops designed to foster camaraderie and improvisation. These sessions often took place in rustic retreat settings, where the cast would engage in physical training, team-building exercises, and candid discussions about character motivations and backstories. The informal environment broke down barriers and allowed relationships to form naturally, seeping into the performances with genuine warmth and tension. Filming locations were meticulously selected to maximize visual impact while supporting the narrative's globetrotting scope. The production scouted diverse environments, from rugged mountain terrains and sun-drenched Mediterranean ports to sprawling urban centers and isolated industrial complexes. Each location posed unique logistical challenges, from navigating bureaucratic red tape to accommodating weather fluctuations. One particularly memorable story involves the shoot in a coastal town where unpredictable tides forced the crew to recalibrate schedules multiple times. Yet the natural light and local atmosphere lent the scenes an authenticity that no studio set could replicate. Technical innovation was at the heart of the production's ethos. The stunt department collaborated closely with visual effects artists to design sequences that blended practical effects with CGI, creating visceral yet believable action. One pioneering technique involved the use of motion capture suits embedded with sensors that tracked subtle muscle movements, allowing animators to overlay digital enhancements without losing the organic quality of the performer's physicality. This hybrid approach gave rise to scenes where gravity-defying stunts felt grounded in real human effort, heightening audience immersion. Costume design reflected a similar synthesis of old and new. The team experimented with cutting-edge fabrics and materials engineered for durability and flexibility, essential for the rigorous stunt work. Intricate detailing, such as custom embossing, layered textures, and adaptive fastenings, was informed by consultations with military historians and material scientists, grounding the fictional gear in practical reality. Early prototypes occasionally faltered. One suit's integrated cooling system, intended to keep actors comfortable during intense sequences, initially malfunctioned and caused unexpected overheating, necessitating rapid redesign. These behind-the-scenes trials underscore the intersection of creativity and problem-solving that defines the filmmaking craft. Sound design and musical scoring were approached as storytelling tools in their own right. The sound team collected a vast library of audio samples, from mechanical whirs and metallic clangs to natural environmental sounds. One unusual anecdote recounts how the iconic gunfire sound effect was created by recording the crack of a bamboo stick against a steel plate, layered with electronically manipulated frequencies to achieve the perfect balance of realism and dramatic punch. The composer, a maestro known for blending orchestral grandeur with electronic motifs, recorded segments in unique acoustic environments, including a disused cathedral whose reverberations lent a haunting quality to key themes. This blend of tradition and experimentation enriched the film's sonic landscape, weaving emotion and tension into every moment. Post-production was an exhaustive and iterative process. Editors worked hand-in-hand with the director to sculpt the narrative's rhythm, balancing adrenaline-pumping sequences with quieter, character-driven moments. The use of digital color grading refined the film's visual tone, transitioning smoothly between the gritty realism of urban combat and the heightened surrealism of dramatic set pieces. Visual effects supervisors managed a sprawling digital workflow involving hundreds of artists across multiple studios worldwide, coordinating seamlessly to maintain consistency and quality. One notable challenge involved rendering large-scale destruction sequences where thousands of individual elements had to interact convincingly, a task that pushed software and hardware capabilities to their limits. Behind the scenes, the atmosphere was one of intense collaboration tempered by moments of levity. The demanding schedule and high stakes were balanced by traditions of camaraderie, shared meals, on-set celebrations, and spontaneous improvisations that kept spirits high. Cast members often took turns directing small scenes or suggesting tweaks, reflecting a creative environment that valued input at all levels. Anecdotes of late-night brainstorming sessions and friendly competitions reveal a team united not just by professional goals but by shared passion. Marketing and distribution strategies mirrored the film's blend of classic appeal and modern sensibility. Promotional campaigns integrated traditional media with innovative digital outreach, including interactive websites, behind-the-scenes content, and augmented reality experiences that allowed fans to immerse themselves in the world of the film. These efforts created a robust engagement platform, expanding the narrative universe beyond the theater and fostering a vibrant fan community. Throughout production, unexpected events tested resilience and adaptability. Natural disasters, geopolitical shifts, and global health concerns imposed delays and forced creative adjustments. Yet, each obstacle became an opportunity to refine the vision, experiment with new techniques, or deepen storytelling elements. The final product stands as a testament to the relentless commitment of its creators, a blend of artistry, technology, and human spirit forged under pressure. Years later, the film's production stories continue to inspire filmmakers, critics, and fans alike. Documentaries, retrospectives, and interviews delve into the complex interplay of factors that shape the movie, revealing a layered narrative of creativity, challenge, and triumph. These accounts enrich our understanding of the film as not merely a piece of entertainment, but as a landmark of collaborative artistry. In essence, the production insights and fun facts about this film reveal a vibrant ecosystem of creativity where vision meets reality through innovation, dedication, and human connection. They remind us that behind every explosive scene and powerful performance lies a world of passion and perseverance, an intricate dance of craft and chance that ultimately breathes life into the stories we cherish. The world of this film unfolds not simply as a backdrop, but as a living, breathing entity, one that shapes, reflects, and amplifies the very essence of the story and its characters. From the bustling urban sprawls where danger lurks behind every corner to the remote, rugged landscapes that test the limits of human endurance, the settings become integral to the narrative's emotional and thematic depth. Each location is painstakingly crafted and chosen with an eye toward not just aesthetics, but symbolism, atmosphere, and narrative resonance, inviting the viewer to inhabit a realm that is as textured and complex as the characters themselves. At the heart of the film lies its urban environment, a cityscape teeming with contrast and contradiction. The filmmakers opted for a blend of real-world locales and meticulously constructed sets, weaving together tangible authenticity and cinematic spectacle. Streets are narrow and winding, littered with the detritus of everyday life, yet pulsating with an undercurrent of latent menace. Neon lights flicker alongside crumbling facades, hinting at decay beneath the veneer of modernity. This setting grounds the story in a gritty realism, evoking a sense of claustrophobia and urgency that mirrors the characters' own entrapments and conflicts. The city itself becomes a character, a labyrinthine maze that tests loyalties and strategies, where shadows hide allies and enemies alike. The film's production design team worked closely with location scouts to find neighborhoods that embodied this duality, capturing a visual language of grit and glamour, hope and despair. They layered elements of graffiti, urban decay, and architectural grandeur, creating a textured environment that feels lived in and authentic. The interplay of light and shadow across these surfaces is a deliberate choice, using chiaroscuro to symbolize moral ambiguity and the blurred lines between right and wrong. Beyond the urban core, the narrative expands into sprawling industrial zones and abandoned factories, spaces where the echoes of past prosperity clash with present desolation. These locations provide a stark, haunting contrast to the city's pulse, reflecting themes of decay, abandonment, and the relentless march of time. In these spaces, the characters confront not only external adversaries but their own histories and regrets. The dilapidated machinery, rusted beams, and shattered glass become visual metaphors for broken promises and lost opportunities. In sharp contrast to the urban and industrial, the film transports audiences to remote, natural landscapes that offer respite and challenge in equal measure. Rugged mountains, dense forests, and windswept coastlines are captured with breathtaking cinematography that underscores the narrative's thematic core of endurance and transformation. These natural settings are not mere scenic backdrops. They function symbolically as arenas of testing and revelation, where characters face the elemental forces of nature alongside their own inner turmoil. The choice of shooting on location in such diverse and sometimes inhospitable environments presented logistical challenges but yielded rewards in authenticity and emotional impact. The cinematographers embraced natural light and weather conditions, allowing clouds, storms, and shifting sunlight to shape mood organically. This approach infuses scenes with a rawness and immediacy that studio lighting often cannot replicate. For example, a pivotal sequence filmed during a thunderstorm gains visceral intensity from the interplay of rain, lightning, and shadow, heightening tension and underscoring the narrative's emotional stakes. Lighting design throughout the film is masterful in its subtlety and symbolism. The interplay of illumination and darkness is employed not only to define space, but to evoke emotional states and narrative shifts. Warm, golden hues bathe scenes of camaraderie and hope, while cold, blue-tinged shadows envelop moments of isolation and danger. The use of practical lighting sources, street lamps, flickering fires, neon signs, adds texture and realism, creating environments that pulse with life even amid chaos. Color grading complements this palette, enhancing thematic contrasts and guiding emotional responses. The urban scenes are often saturated with desaturated tones, punctuated by splashes of vivid color, reflecting the tension between monotony and vitality. Natural settings feature rich, earthy hues and shifting skies that mirror characters' evolving moods. Strategic color shifts signal transitions in tone and narrative, subtly preparing viewers for the emotional journey ahead. Cinematography plays a crucial role in shaping the film's immersive atmosphere. The director of photography employs a dynamic range of techniques, from sweeping aerial shots that reveal the scale and complexity of settings to intimate close-ups that capture nuanced expressions and internal conflict. Tracking shots follow characters through crowded streets and claustrophobic interiors, enhancing the sense of movement and urgency. Handheld camera work adds immediacy and rawness, particularly in action sequences and moments of chaos. Framing and composition are used thoughtfully to reinforce narrative themes. Characters are often positioned against imposing architectural elements or vast natural vistas, visualizing their struggles against larger forces. Negative space and depth of field manipulation isolate or connect characters, emphasizing loneliness or solidarity. Reflections in glass and water surfaces are employed to suggest duality and hidden truths, adding layers of meaning to seemingly straightforward scenes. The film's editing rhythm aligns closely with its visual style, alternating between rapid cuts during high-energy sequences and lingering shots that invite contemplation. This ebb and flow create a pacing that mirrors the story's tension and release, allowing moments of adrenaline to be balanced by pauses for emotional resonance. Transitions between settings are crafted to maintain narrative coherence while also accentuating shifts in mood and theme, often using visual motifs or sound bridges. Visual effects are integrated seamlessly with practical elements to expand and enhance settings. Digital augmentation extends city skylines, enhances natural environments, and creates atmospheric phenomena like smoke, fire, and weather effects. These effects are carefully calibrated to support rather than overwhelm, preserving the tactile quality of physical sets and locations. For example, a rooftop chase scene combines real stunt work with digital extensions of the cityscape, creating a thrilling sequence that feels both grounded and spectacular. Sound design works in concert with visual elements to build a fully immersive world. Urban soundscapes teem with layers of ambient noise, distant sirens, footsteps, murmured conversations that root scenes in reality. Natural environments are enriched with organic sounds, rustling leaves, crashing waves, bird calls that heighten sensory engagement. The subtle use of silence or muted sound amplifies tension and focus during critical moments. Music underscores the film's settings and emotions with a nuanced score that blends orchestral textures and electronic elements. Themes associated with specific locations or characters recur with variations, reinforcing narrative connections. The music's modulation, rising in intensity during action, softening during reflection, guides the viewer's emotional journey and deepens immersion. The film's production design extends to smaller details that enrich setting authenticity and narrative symbolism. Props, costumes, and set dressings are selected to reflect character identities, socioeconomic contexts, and thematic motifs. For instance, the contrast between the worn leather jackets of the veterans and the sleek tactical gear of the recruits visually encodes the generational and philosophical divides central to the story. Graffiti, posters, and signage within urban environments offer subtle cultural commentary and world building. In sum, the film's settings and cinematic elements form an intricately woven fabric that elevates storytelling beyond dialogue and plot. Through deliberate choices in location, lighting, color, composition, and sound, the filmmakers create a world that is simultaneously believable and charged with symbolic meaning. This immersive environment invites viewers not just to watch, but to inhabit the narrative space, experiencing its tensions, hopes, and contradictions firsthand. By anchoring character and story within richly realized settings, the film harnesses the power of place to deepen emotional impact and thematic complexity. Each environment, urban, industrial, natural, resonates with the struggles and transformations of its inhabitants, making the world itself a mirror and a catalyst for the journey. This synthesis of setting and cinematic craft is a testament to the collaborative artistry behind the film, and a key reason it lingers in the imagination long after the final scene. The story behind the making of this film is as layered and dynamic as the explosive narrative it delivers on screen. Behind the roaring engines, cascading explosions, and choreographed combat lies a world rich with camaraderie, ingenuity, and moments of unexpected warmth and humor. The set became a crucible not only of artistic collaboration, but of human connection, where personalities clashed and fused, challenges tested resilience, and moments of levity punctuated the grueling grind of production. Delving into these behind-the-scenes insights reveals a tapestry of experiences that shaped the film far beyond the script and storyboard. One of the earliest anecdotes that set the tone for the production involves the casting process, where a mix of legends and newcomers were brought together. The dynamic between seasoned veterans and fresh talent created an atmosphere brimming with respect, curiosity, and occasionally playful rivalry. Early rehearsals were marked by spontaneous bursts of improvisation and camaraderie, often sparked during downtime between takes. Stories circulate of informal contests, everything from arm wrestling matches to impromptu dance-offs, that served as bonding rituals and stress relievers. These moments not only lightened the mood, but forged bonds that translated into palpable chemistry on screen. The relationship between the lead actors, particularly the team's central figures, became a cornerstone of the film's behind-the-scenes narrative. Off-camera, these actors shared long conversations about their characters, motivations, and the broader themes of loyalty, legacy, and survival. They challenged each other to dig deeper, exploring emotional layers that might otherwise have been overlooked in a genre often pigeonholed as purely action-driven. This intellectual engagement fostered a creative environment where vulnerability was embraced, enriching performances with authenticity and nuance. Filming locations played a significant role in shaping daily life on set, bringing unique challenges and unexpected delights. Shooting in remote or historically rich sites required coordination with local authorities, adaptation to varying climates, and respect for cultural contexts. One memorable episode involved a sudden power outage in a key urban filming area, which forced the crew to innovate with natural and improvised lighting. Rather than delaying production, the director seized the moment, transforming the scene into a nighttime chase that capitalized on shadows and ambient city glow. The result was a sequence lauded for its atmospheric intensity, born from serendipity and quick thinking. Physical preparation was another vital component. The cast underwent rigorous training regimes tailored to their roles, including martial arts, firearms handling, and stunt coordination. These sessions fostered not only physical readiness, but a sense of shared purpose. Trainers recall moments where actors pushed each other to exceed limits, but also instances of support and encouragement that forged trust. One unusual story recounts how an actor, initially struggling with complex fight choreography, found breakthrough inspiration after watching a fellow cast member's demonstration, an example of peer mentorship that became emblematic of the production's collaborative spirit. Stunt work itself was a domain of both precision and unpredictability. The stunt coordinators faced the challenge of balancing safety with spectacle crafting sequences that pushed boundaries while protecting performers. A particularly daring sequence involving a rooftop leap and mid-air fight demanded extensive rehearsal and innovative rigging. During early attempts, technical malfunctions led to near misses and rescheduling, yet these setbacks spurred creative problem-solving. The final shot required a combination of wire work, green screen, and practical effects, seamlessly blended to achieve a thrilling, believable moment. Crew members described the tension and adrenaline surrounding these shoots, underscoring the dedication and bravery that underlie cinematic spectacle. The production also embraced moments of levity to sustain morale during long, intense days. Cast and crew traditions emerged, including themed lunches, celebratory toasts after complex scenes, and shared playlists that introduced diverse musical tastes to the set. These rituals fostered a sense of community and belonging, essential in an environment marked by high pressure and relentless demands. Anecdotes of late-night conversations around campfires or impromptu karaoke sessions reveal the human warmth beneath the adrenaline-fueled exterior. Technical departments, from camera crews to special effects teams, recount tales of collaboration and innovation. The cinematographers experimented with novel camera rigs and lenses to capture the film's kinetic energy and emotional intimacy. One inventive solution involved mounting cameras on specially designed drones to achieve dynamic aerial perspectives previously unattainable. This approach required meticulous coordination and testing, balancing technological possibilities with safety and artistic vision. Visual effects teams navigated a complex digital workflow, integrating live-action footage with computer-generated imagery to create seamless environments and breathtaking sequences. Behind the scenes, artists and technicians shared stories of late-night problem-solving marathons, where small breakthroughs unlocked entire sequences. The collaborative culture extended beyond departments, with regular cross-team meetings fostering shared understanding and innovation. Sound engineers and composers brought their own artistry and challenges. Recording sessions ranged from traditional orchestral performances to field recordings capturing ambient sounds in diverse locations. One unexpected success came from capturing the nuanced sound of metal on metal during fight choreography, which was layered and manipulated to create the film's distinctive auditory signature. These efforts contributed to an immersive soundscape that elevates the narrative's emotional and sensory impact. Despite meticulous planning, unforeseen obstacles arose, whether disruptions, equipment failures, and logistical delays tested the team's adaptability. Each challenge was met with a blend of professionalism and creativity, reinforcing the notion that filmmaking is a fluid process requiring resilience and flexibility. Stories of resourceful on-the-spot solutions highlight the production's dynamic problem-solving ethos. In post-production, editors, colorists, and sound mixers collaborated closely to refine the film's rhythm and tone. The director's open-door policy encouraged feedback and experimentation, resulting in multiple versions of key scenes before final decisions. This iterative process reflects a commitment to quality and narrative clarity, ensuring that the final product resonates both viscerally and emotionally. Years later, the camaraderie and shared experiences continue to resonate among cast and crew. Reunion events, documentaries, and interviews celebrate not only the film's success, but the journey that created it. These reflections reveal the enduring bonds formed through collective creativity, challenge, and triumph. In essence, the behind-the-scenes story is a testament to the human spirit that animates every frame. It reminds us that beyond the explosions and stunts lies a community of passionate individuals whose artistry and perseverance breathe life into the story, making it a vibrant, living experience for audiences around the world. The film unfolds like a modern fable, rich with themes and symbols that ripple beneath the surface of its explosive action and gritty exterior. It invites viewers into a world where every gesture, every conflict, and every shadow carries weight beyond the immediate narrative, weaving a tapestry of meaning that speaks to timeless questions of identity, loyalty, power, and the passage of time. To engage with these themes is to enter a dialogue, not just with the film itself, but with the cultural and philosophical currents it both reflects and shapes. Central to the film's thematic core is the tension between legacy and change, a meditation on what it means to carry forward the past while adapting to an uncertain future. The veteran fighters, seasoned by decades of conflict, embody the strength of experience, tradition, and hard-earned wisdom. Yet their world is shifting rapidly, challenged by a new generation equipped with different skills, values, and technologies. This dynamic is not simply generational friction, but a profound exploration of survival and relevance. The film asks, how does one honor what has been built while embracing transformation? This theme unfolds through character interactions, plot developments, and the visual language of the film, creating a rich narrative dialectic. Loyalty emerges as another foundational theme, complicated by the moral ambiguities of mercenary life. The team's unbreakable bonds, formed in the crucible of shared danger and sacrifice, stand as a testament to human connection amid chaos. Yet loyalty is tested repeatedly, both by external enemies and internal doubts. Characters grapple with trust, betrayal, and the costs of allegiance, revealing loyalty not as a static virtue, but a lived, often painful commitment. This nuanced portrayal resonates with broader human experiences of relationship and responsibility. Power and its ethical dimensions permeate the film's conflict. The protagonist and antagonist are reflections in a dark mirror, each wielding formidable force, yet diverging in motivations and methods. The narrative probes the use and abuse of power, how it can protect or destroy, unify or divide. Symbolism abounds in this tension, with recurring motifs of light and shadow, fire and water, encapsulating the dual nature of power as both creative and destructive. This theme invites viewers to contemplate the moral choices that define leadership and heroism. The passage of time and the inevitability of mortality infuse the film with poignancy. The physical weariness of the veterans, their reflections on past battles and lost comrades, and the ever-present threat of death underscore a meditation on aging, legacy, and the human desire to leave meaning behind. Scenes of quiet reflection, often set against expansive landscapes or intimate interiors, allow the narrative to breathe and invite emotional resonance. Time is both antagonist and teacher, shaping identity and fate. Symbolism is woven intricately into the film's visual and narrative fabric. The team's emblem, emblazoned on gear and vehicles, functions as a sigil of identity and unity, a banner under which diverse individuals forge collective purpose. Its evolution throughout the story mirrors the shifting composition and values of the group, symbolizing continuity amid change. Environmental symbolism deepens thematic expression. Urban decay juxtaposed with natural beauty reflects the conflict between artificial constructs and organic life, paralleling characters' struggles between societal roles and authentic selves. The interplay of light, natural sunlight filtering through smoke, harsh artificial illumination, deepening twilight, encodes emotional states and narrative shifts, creating a visual language that complements the story's emotional rhythm. Characters themselves carry symbolic weight. The antagonist embodies the shadow of unrestrained ambition and vengeance, a cautionary figure whose trajectory warns of power's corrupting potential. The younger recruits symbolize renewal and hope, yet also the challenges of integration and respect. The veterans represent endurance and the complex burden of history, their scars and stories embodying the costs of survival. Narrative motifs, such as the passing of weapons from one generation to another, shared rituals before battle, and recurring references to past missions, serve as symbolic anchors that weave individual arcs into a collective mythos. These elements invite viewers to perceive the story as part of a larger cycle of conflict, growth, and transformation. The film's treatment of masculinity is layered and evolving. While traditional notions of strength, courage, and stoicism are present, they are tempered by vulnerability, emotional openness, and interdependence. This nuanced portrayal challenges genre conventions and reflects contemporary cultural conversations about gender and identity. Music and sound further enhance symbolism. The score's motifs evoke heroism tinged with melancholy, underscoring themes of sacrifice and hope. Soundscapes amplify environmental symbolism, with natural and mechanical noises blending to create atmospheres that resonate with thematic depth. In sum, the film's themes and symbolism form a complex, interwoven matrix that enriches its narrative and emotional impact. By engaging with questions of legacy, loyalty, power, time, and identity through symbolic language and character dynamics, the story transcends its action roots to offer a meditation on the human condition. This depth invites viewers not only to witness but to reflect, to find echoes of their own journeys within the cinematic experience. The film's creation is a fascinating journey through the evolving landscape of modern cinema, a tapestry woven with innovative techniques, artistic vision, and the relentless pursuit of immersive storytelling. Each frame is crafted not just to thrill, but to pull viewers into a world that feels visceral, textured, and emotionally resonant. Behind the explosive action and complex character interplay lies a masterclass in filmmaking, where camera work, sound design, editing, and visual effects coalesce to shape atmosphere and deepen engagement. At the core of the film's visual language is a dynamic cinematographic approach that balances kinetic energy with intimate focus. The director of photography embraced a blend of traditional and cutting-edge techniques to capture the story's contrasting moods. Sweeping aerial shots and wide-angle lenses establish scale and grandeur, immersing the audience in sprawling urban landscapes and sweeping natural vistas. These vistas are not mere backdrops, but active components of the narrative, framing characters within spaces that reflect their inner journeys. In contrast, close-up and medium shots delve into the psychological and emotional depths of characters. The camera lingers on subtle facial expressions, the fleeting tension in a hand gesture, or the quiet moments between explosions. This interplay of shot types creates a rhythm that oscillates between spectacle and introspection, allowing the audience to experience both the adrenaline and the humanity of the story. One notable filmmaking technique employed is the use of Steadicam and handheld cameras during action sequences, which injects immediacy and realism. The fluidity of these shots creates a sense of being in the midst of the chaos, following the characters' movements with unfiltered intensity. This approach breaks from the polished, static shots typical of earlier action films, favoring visceral immersion over detached observation. Lighting design plays a pivotal role in crafting the film's mood and tone. The cinematography exploits chiaroscuro, strong contrasts between light and shadow, to visually manifest the narrative's moral ambiguities and emotional tensions. Scenes bathed in warm, golden light often underscore moments of hope and camaraderie, while cold, stark lighting punctuates scenes of danger and uncertainty. Practical light sources, flickering fires, neon signs, stormy skies, add texture and realism, heightening sensory engagement. Visual effects, VFX, integrate seamlessly with practical effects, creating environments and sequences that push the boundaries of believability while maintaining groundedness. The production employed state-of-the-art CGI to extend sets, simulate complex destruction, and enhance combat sequences. These effects were carefully calibrated to support narrative and emotional beats rather than overwhelm, ensuring that spectacle served story. For example, large-scale explosion sequences were grounded with practical pyrotechnics, enhanced digitally to amplify impact without sacrificing authenticity. The film's editing is a finely tuned instrument, orchestrating the flow of tension, emotion, and pacing. Rapid cuts and montage sequences energize action scenes, conveying urgency and chaos. Conversely, longer takes and cross-cutting between simultaneous events build suspense and allow character reactions to unfold naturally. The editors worked closely with the director to ensure narrative clarity amidst complexity, balancing multiple storylines and perspectives with fluid coherence. Sound design and musical scoring elevate the cinematic experience to a sensory immersion. The soundscape blends realistic environmental sounds, footsteps, gunfire, explosions, with layered effects that amplify impact and nuance. Unique sound signatures were crafted for weapons, vehicles, and energy discharges, creating an auditory palette that enhances world building. The composer's score weaves orchestral and electronic elements, reflecting the film's thematic dualities of tradition and innovation, human struggle and technological advancement. Dialogue editing focused on clarity and emotional authenticity. On-set recordings were supplemented by ADR, automated dialogue replacement, to ensure precision without sacrificing naturalism. Sound mixing balanced dialogue, music, and effects to create an enveloping auditory environment that guides emotional responses. Camera choreography and blocking were meticulously planned to maximize dramatic and visual impact. The director collaborated with stunt coordinators and cinematographers to design sequences that showcase characters' skills and relationships dynamically. Movements are choreographed to reflect narrative themes, fluid cooperation, tension, and conflict, translating story into physical language. The film's color grading complements its visual storytelling, shifting palettes to reflect emotional and thematic shifts. Urban scenes feature desaturated tones with occasional bursts of vibrant color, symbolizing life amid decay. Natural settings employ richer, warmer hues to evoke renewal and reflection. These choices guide viewer mood subtly but powerfully. Box office production was approached with a strategic blend of timing, marketing, and global outreach. Released during a competitive season, the film leveraged its star-studded cast and franchise legacy to attract diverse audiences. Trailers emphasized both thrilling action and emotional stakes, broadening appeal beyond genre fans. The marketing campaign incorporated interactive digital experiences, behind-the-scenes content, and fan engagement initiatives, building anticipation and community. International distribution tailored localization efforts, dubbing, subtitles, culturally sensitive marketing, to maximize resonance across regions. Early screenings generated positive buzz, bolstered by social media amplification and influencer endorsements. The film's box office success reflected effective synergy between creative excellence and savvy promotion. Critically, the film was praised for elevating genre conventions through its technical craftsmanship and narrative complexity. Awards and nominations recognized achievements in cinematography, sound design, visual effects, and editing. Scholarly analysis situated the film within contemporary cinematic trends, noting its blend of spectacle and substance. In sum, the film's filmmaking techniques and box office production embody a holistic vision where artistry, technology, and audience engagement coalesce. Through deliberate choices in camera work, sound, editing, and marketing, it crafts an experience that thrills, moves, and invites reflection. This fusion of craft and commerce underscores the enduring power of cinema to captivate and connect across boundaries. As we find ourselves at the close of this deep and intricate journey through the film's layered world, it feels fitting to pause and reflect on everything we've uncovered together. Like travelers who have wandered not only through landscapes of action and spectacle, but also through the hidden terrains of meaning, symbolism, and human complexity that make this story resonate far beyond its explosive surface. What began as an invitation to watch a high-octane adventure transformed into an exploration of identity, loyalty, legacy, and transformation, a meditation on what it means to face change, to grapple with mortality, and to find connection in a world that often seems fractured and relentless. Throughout our exploration, we've witnessed how the film masterfully balances the old and the new, the seasoned veterans, battle-hardened and weathered by time, alongside the fresh blood eager to prove themselves in a world that values speed, technology, and innovation. This dynamic tension mirrors real-world shifts, generations passing the torch amid uncertainty and hope, and invites us to reflect on our own encounters with change and continuity. We saw how this theme permeates not just plot, but character, setting, and even the very aesthetics of the film, underscoring a universal story of evolution and endurance. Our journey took us deep into the characters' souls, uncovering their fears, hopes, flaws, and strengths. These are figures who carry the weight of past victories and losses, yet who remain fiercely human, brothers in arms bound by shared hardship and unyielding loyalty. Their struggles with trust, betrayal, and redemption brought an emotional richness that anchors the narrative's spectacle, reminding us that heroism is as much about vulnerability and connection as it is about strength and courage. Behind the scenes, the film's creation unfolded as a testament to human creativity and collaboration. From casting choices that sparked chemistry and rivalry, to the relentless physical and technical preparation that brought the story's daring sequences to life, we glimpsed the passion and perseverance driving every frame. Innovations in cinematography, stunt coordination, sound design, and visual effects crafted an immersive world that pulses with energy and authenticity, elevating the cinematic experience beyond mere entertainment. We explored how the film's settings, urban mazes, industrial ruins, vast natural landscapes, are not just backdrops but active, symbolic participants in the story. Through light and shadow, color and composition, these environments deepen emotional resonance and thematic depth, inviting viewers to inhabit a world that is at once familiar and charged with meaning. The interplay of imagery and sound weaves a sensory tapestry that guides us through tension and release, chaos and calm. The narrative's significant events, from the recruitment of new fighters to the climactic confrontations, emerged as more than plot points. They are moments laden with thematic weight and emotional truth. Each twist and turn challenges characters and viewers alike to reconsider notions of loyalty, power, and identity, offering a complex, morally textured vision that refuses easy answers. This narrative sophistication, combined with visceral spectacle, is a hallmark of the film's enduring appeal. The themes and symbolism threaded through the film enrich its story, giving it a timeless quality. Questions of legacy, transformation, and the human cost of conflict echo throughout, embodied in characters, journeys, and visual motifs. The film's nuanced treatment of masculinity, power, and camaraderie reflects evolving cultural conversations, making it not just a story of action, but a reflection of our collective psyche. Ultimately, this film stands as a powerful reminder of cinema's capacity to engage heart, mind, and senses simultaneously. It invites us not only to witness a thrilling tale, but to reflect on our own stories, our struggles, our loyalties, our hopes for what comes next. The experience is as much about connection and contemplation as it is about adrenaline and spectacle. If this journey through the film's depths has sparked your curiosity, enriched your understanding, or simply offered a new way to see a familiar genre, I warmly encourage you to stay connected. By subscribing to this channel, you join a community of thoughtful explorers who seek to unravel the layers beneath the surface of cinema. Together, we'll continue to delve into the artistry, symbolism, and cultural significance of films that shape our imagination and our world. Your support through likes, shares, and subscriptions not only helps this channel grow, but fosters a space where meaningful dialogue and discovery thrive. Every comment, every conversation adds richness to this shared journey. Thank you for accompanying me on this immersive exploration. Until our next adventure, keep watching with wonder, thinking with openness, and feeling with courage. The world of film is vast and endlessly fascinating. Let's discover it together.